Toronto Maple Leafs have fired Sheldon Keefe in what came in some pretty breaking news this morning. Very early, Elliot Friedman started with the report, and it has spread throughout the media. We don't know who the replacement coach is, but what we do know is that Sheldon Keefe has coached his last game as a Toronto Maple Leaf, and it ended in heartbreaking fashion in Game 7 against the Boston Bruins. Darius, he's gone. We have an animation we'll show later. Sheldon Keefe officially has been relieved of his duties as Toronto Maple Leafs head coach.
Yeah, and it ends the same way that Mike Babcock's tenure should have ended, a Game 7 loss to the Boston Bruins. But anyway, enough with the shots. We talked about it yesterday. The Leafs were going to make a decision today. It was either Sheldon Keefe was going to be fired, or if we didn't hear anything, that means he was coming back next year. And here we are. They've made the decision. He is fired. They're going to move along with a coaching search, which I thought was pretty weird in the official statement. They said the coaching search starts now. I feel like that's a lie, maybe, but I think they've already maybe have their guy or a couple guys in the chamber. So we'll just have to see what happens next. But I don't think they're done either. They said a decision on the rest of the coaching staff is still to come, whether that's today, whether that's during the stream, whether that's next week. I don't know, but I have a feeling that we'll know by the time we get our press conference tomorrow with management. So it's going to be really interesting to watch, and stuff is happening. At least there's movement. Things are happening.
Yeah, and at the very least, we won't be running it back with the same coaching staff. Players will have to probably see until tomorrow for that. But yeah, Elliot Friedman dropped the bomb. Sheldon Keefe is gone, and it's a little bit bittersweet. Marner getting traded to the Habs. It's a little bit bittersweet because obviously he was a decent coach. It didn't work out with the Maple Leafs. He's been with us now for years, but it was definitely time after that Bruins loss. He got out-coached by Jim Montgomery, and it was pretty obvious. Now, do I think Sheldon Keefe is going to find a new place to coach? Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe he'll take a year off. Who knows about that? But did any of the associate coaches get fired as well? Because that power play, as of right now, there's no news on that. I'm sure it might come out at some point, but I don't think, I hope Guy Boucher and those guys, I hope this is a full overhaul. Assuming they bring in a new head coach, they'll ask him what they're thinking, and then maybe bring in a bunch of new guys. But good coach, we need a new voice, yeah. And we have a video coming out after this, kind of discussing all that. But a new voice definitely seemed to be the main reason that he's gone.
Well, Brad Living said exactly that in a statement this morning. He said, I don't know the exact quote. It's out there right now making the rounds, but he said something along the lines that we feel like we needed a new voice for the guys to get over the hump, basically, and push through to the ultimate goal. And honestly, I think he's right. I think he's right at this point. I think Sheldon Keefe is a great coach. Like, this is bittersweet for me because I've always said that Sheldon Keefe is a good coach. I think he is. I will maintain that, and I think that he'll move on, and he might even win a Stanley Cup because that's exactly what happens whenever you move on from the Toronto Maple Leafs. But yeah, bittersweet day, but I think he's right. They do need a new voice to be able to push through, whether that's Craig Berube or somebody else. I guess we'll find out. The Leafs are going to have to make a decision very quickly here because if they want Craig Berube, sounds like he's going to the Devils if they wait any longer. So that's going to be really interesting to keep an eye on. But there's other coaches available too. But obviously, the one thing they were discussing is there anybody available that is better than Sheldon Keefe? If they were to fire Sheldon Keefe, which, by the way, his contract extension that he signed last year hadn't even kicked in yet. Like, it was going to kick in next year. They fired this guy before his contract extension. So they believe deep down that they needed a new voice to coach the team. And yeah, it's very, I'm sure he's going to go somewhere else, but and find success, but it's a bittersweet day. But I think for the better health of the Leafs, they had to go a different direction for sure.
Especially from they just extended him. Per Living, today's decision was difficult. Excellent coach. We determined, a new voice is definitely needed. And again, we don't know if they're going to improve Boudreau, power play coach. I'd be fine with that, even though he's on the older side of things. I mean, there's a lot now to discuss going from here. Someone said Darius looks so relieved that Sheldon Keefe is gone. I'd say Darius is quite relieved. His nightmare was that no news today, and then he comes back as the coach.
I think I'm more relieved because I called it yesterday. I was like, if he doesn't get fired today, he's coming back. And everyone was holding me to that. So I'm more relieved that we just got the news. At least I was correct.
Yeah. Yeah, 8 years of this going on, the coach needs to be moving on the player front.
This is something I agree with from Jace Digest. Thanks, Jace.
It's definitely going to be, I think the next step now is probably Mitch Marner maybe going. Mm-hmm. I mean, after all the coaching changes, I'd assume at this point Shanahan stays. Also, hit the like button if you're new here. And we produce daily Leafs content every single day. Shout out to a lot of you who are in here. We're going to be going live a lot more. Shout out to all you in here. But yeah, there's This is crazy. I mean, it feels surreal. I mean, I feel like for years we've been speaking, sorry, about Sheldon Keefe getting fired after each playoff collapse. And last year they did a little bit better, but they still didn't get exactly where they wanted to be. But now it's finally happened, and I hope this is the beginning of something new. A lot of people are, good thing if you sign somewhere else, we don't have to pay them. Yeah, there's a lot of people happy here. So, I mean, all right.
Yep.
Chat, I guess we're happy, right? You can type in yes or no. We're happy that Keefe is fired. We did this exercise yesterday on the live stream.
One thing I just saw a comment I want to address about players being out of position 100% of the time. That might be a player thing. I feel like Sheldon Keefe tried to implement a lot of systems that these players just didn't want to. If you go back and watch the Amazon documentary, a lot of the players did not want to do what this guy was asking. So I don't know. At that point, maybe it is a coach problem where you just have to replace the coach because he doesn't mesh with the players. But I did find that incredibly infuriating too. Like in the playoffs, every other team's defense has all day to do whatever they please, and the Leafs wingers are just never there. And I think it might be a system thing, or maybe the players are not buying into the system that he's laying out there, and that's why it's all falling apart. I don't know exactly, but I think it was absolutely time for a new voice. Like after the Montreal series, I was ready to move on from a lot of this, and it's been 3 years. So
yeah, and you can kind of see people are saying they tuned him out, plain and simple. New coach was needed. Happy now, get rid of Shanny. Shanny is Darius. Do you think Shanahan is up next, or do you think
no?
He says, and do we think Craig Berube is the man for the job? That's the real question now, because I don't know. I mean, Joel Quenneville is available. Maybe the Carolina head coach. That's wishful thinking, but. Yeah. Oh, Morningstar.
Wow.
We got a shout out to that donation. We got a Leaf super chat, or I guess we got the animation. Keefe needed to go last year. He's second. He was forced to walk back. His criticism of the core four was the moment he lost the room. At that point, the players knew they had no accountability. Yeah, I mean, a new voice was needed really badly. Really badly.
The thing with the accountability on the players is I feel like when all of them came in, like with Lou, they really protected them because they were young. And I think it was the right move to make. But now that they're like 27 and you're still doing that as an organization, it's wrong. I think they have to take accountability. Dude, you're like 27 years old, right? Like you're the guy now. You have to take accountability. So that whole thing about protecting them at first, I agree with, but we're far past that now. As an organization, they have to take accountability. They do. So that's a great point there. I love that.
Yeah, shout out True Night. You guys are fast. Get the news out. Yeah, it could have been faster, but I was asleep. They're still sheltering like the boys. Instead of looking to move Marner, move Tavares. Yeah, but Marner...
impossible in my eyes, unfortunately.
Tavares needs to go. Impossible. A lot of people are saying that. Expect the Leafs to be kicking the trade market for a goalie. Jordan Binnington, potential option. Yeah, that's the next thing, is kind of what their move is next, kind of going forward here. And the option is Shanahan. If he's up, we'll know Friday, which is tomorrow now, if Shanahan's returning, which I think he will in a different role.
Yeah. No, he's not getting fired. He's in that press conference. If he was getting fired, it would just be Leafs management speaking.
Appreciate
right?
It,
he's part of it. So I just don't know if he's going to be part of the on ice decisions anymore. I think he's moving to a different role. That's something that's been kicked around all week. And honestly, personally, like if that's the case, I'm fine with that. I think Shanahan has done a lot of good things for the organization, but him getting in the way of the on ice product is kind of where we're getting a lot of our whatever the word is, like a lot of our mix-ups and mistakes, right? Him getting in the way of that's where a lot of the mistakes are coming in. So if you just remove that, I think he's done really great work within the organization. It's just his loyalty to some of these players. We got to get moving here. Like a lot of these guys are getting older. We got to get moving here. Let's build a winner. So just a lot.
Are we thinking of Mitch Marner for UC Saros trade? I brought this up yesterday. I'm bringing it up again because people are saying Saros. Do you think Keefe goes to Pittsburgh? And if so, how long do we see him there? I think
next year as an assistant.
Yeah, it's possible. I think he's looking maybe. I don't know if he's already looking. I mean, he would have known since he got eliminated that he could be on his way out. Yeah. But the question now is if he's... I mean, I guess what team would really want him? I mean, the Dubas connection there in Pittsburgh. We need man up, boys. His speech was great. Yeah, I mean, man, feels surreal. We're not going to see Sheldon Keefe behind the bench. It's been so many years.
Yeah.
A lot of stress for him, I'm sure. So maybe he's somewhat relieved that he doesn't have to deal with the Toronto media anymore.
He might even take time off because he's gone through a lot as Leafs head coach. And I keep saying the Amazon series. If you go back, because I watched it recently again, if you go back, like there is a lot that he was asking of his players that they were just not giving him. And I don't know if that's still the case, but truly, like this guy, it's a bittersweet day because I do think he's a good coach and a good person. But I think for the Leafs moving forward, like I think they need somebody kind of like Craig Berube that just come in and be like, yeah, all of this that you've been doing, like this is over. Like all of this like comfortable stuff, like this is done. So maybe they just knew they need a new voice, like a harder, a hard ass like Craig Berube, maybe. Who knows?
Penn's new coach to be announced later today. Is that legit, or is that what you're saying?
No, I think that's a Keefe going to the Pittsburgh thing. Yeah,
coaching in Toronto, it's 25 years to your age. Yeah, I mean he's definitely aged in his time in Toronto. Tortorella to the Leafs, that would be wild. I don't know.
That'd be fun.
Don't know if the team would, the players would be as happy for that. But I mean, yeah, Keefe. He was given. I mean, the real question now is what we're going to see if Keefe goes and wins with another team, or vice versa. If Craig Berube comes in and wins with the Leafs, we'll kind of know whose fault it ended up being.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Phil Kessel when he left for the Leafs. Or sorry, when he left for the Penguins, when they traded him away. When he was with the Leafs, they were like, Phil Kessel is our best player. He needs to play defense, goalie, and score all the goals. And they didn't build a team around him. And then when he left, he won a Stanley Cup on a really good team. And everyone's like, oh, look, another player traded from the Leafs and he wins the cup. Like, it's not shocking, man. It's a good player. It's just you expected him to play every position and coach. So it's the same type of thing. I feel like Keefe will... Yeah, Keefe was not the only problem, 100%. The whole organization right now, bad mix. They got to start shortening things. Like Tree Living's got to report to Keith Pelly only, and they need a new coach and new personnel on the ice. Like there's only so many times you can change and cut around the edges. Your core and your nucleus is still the same, and you're going to get the same results. So you got to move on from that. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, Keefe was given 4 lead players. Other goalies would kill. Yeah, but we know that this core of 4 players, and we'll see for sure and with the new coach if it's... I mean, it depends what they do with the core, but the coach can't perform for the players. I don't think Keefe was a phenomenal coach, but I also don't think he was an awful coach. We'll see. I mean, time will tell regarding the new coach to see if it's
we'll find out
whose fault it is. It's obviously probably more on the players, and they'll probably move on from Marner unless they run it back with a new coach, which is kind of our nightmare scenario, but it could happen. At the very least, Sheldon Keefe... there's a change of pace there. Torts is likely a bit too much. Yeah, I mean, Torts would be from one side of the spectrum to the complete other side, just completely going at the players. And that would be funny. It'd be fun for content. It'd be funny to watch.
Here's the other thing I'll pose out there, because I'm not talking about regular season, because I don't care about the regular season anymore. The Leafs are making the play. They made the playoffs 8 years in a row. Let me put this out there. Who would you rather have right now? Zach Hyman or Mitch Marner? Who would you rather have, right? Like, realistically, and then think how much money you're saving if you were to do a swap like that, if that was the case back then. I'm just saying, like these are the decisions that they're making time after time, and it's starting to catch up with them. So I don't know.
It's never the core's fault. Blame everyone else.
That's pretty much that's what it's been for a while. I'm just glad that I think like they're going with a core 2 now. We'll call it the core 2 of Matthews and Nylander. I think those guys can get it done. But the rest of the team, I think it has to shake up a little bit differently.
Everyone's saying Hyman.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, for sure. Like, look at what he's doing in the playoffs. And Mitch Marner, unfortunately, his game doesn't work. I think it can work on a different team, but with this set of players, I don't think it works in the playoffs. I don't. Okay. So, yeah, I think I would take that trade in a heartbeat. Of course, that would never happen now, but I think these little decisions, like I talked about, are starting to add up, right? You move on from a Zach Hyman because you don't want to pay him $5 million or whatever, because you got to keep the core together because the salary cap doesn't go up, because you didn't make a decision to move off of them because the salary cap is not going up because of the COVID stuff and all that. So too much. Yeah, sorry about the deep cuts with Hyman. I'm sorry. You just have to at this point, right? It's the little decisions that we talked in our stream yesterday about this Brendan Hagel and Marc-Andre Fleury trade that was nixed. Yes, it was for a first-round pick and Matthew Nyes, which I love Matthew Nyes. But if you really think about it, I would love Matthew Nyes. But think about it. That fixes your goaltending a couple of years ago where maybe you're going for a Stanley Cup. And it also gives you depth scoring in Brendan Hagel, an absolute playoff player. So, again, I don't know if that's probably just speculation. I don't know if that actually happened, but just another example.
Everyone said Hyman, which is interesting. A lot of harsh. Yeah. You hit too deep there. It's too deep, too soon.
Yeah. Yeah. It's at least they have a lot of cap space this summer. And if they were to move off Mitch Marner somehow, like I keep saying, everyone keeps bringing up, Nick, like, well, you can't trade him because he has a no movement clause. Like, guys have been traded before with no movement clauses. You have to ask them. Yeah. You have to go to him and be like, give me 3 teams. And then if he gives you 3 teams, you go, okay, I'm going to call them. and you're going to be gone. And Sid Seixeiro was taking it a step further, where he was even like sit him for the year until he accepts a trade. That's a little extreme, right? I think you need
the Leafs
you
are
guys in the lineup,
but it'd be a fun exercise.
That would be a fun little thing, right? That would be interesting, but I just don't think that would ever happen. But it'd be a fun little thing. But I think we're moving. See how this conversation started with Sheldon Keefe was fired, and it's moved to the actual problem. You see that? So that's how I see it. A lot of people are saying Gerard Gallant. I want to address that too as possible coach. Gerard Gallant has like a 2-year window on him for every team he goes to. Like if you look at the New York Ranger experiment, every team he goes to, 2 years and he's out. So I feel like that's a bad. I wouldn't go with Gerard Gallant. Not sure about that.
Test the core 4 for real, 2 years and leave.
Yeah. Give it one last go and then that's it, right? Okay, we know what the problem is. Marner for Seth Jones. I don't think that's happening. I really do not think that's a good idea for both parties, honestly. Ted Lasso. You ever watch Ted Lasso, Nick? He should be the coach. That'd be a great idea.
I mean, I'm all in. PLD from Mrazek. Shout out to everyone in here that's over 700. If you're new, subscribe. We did daily videos. So, and like the stream. Let's get to 100 likes. If you're watching right now, hit the like button. We only have 63. We can get up to 100. Feels surreal, Darius. It really does. What do you think of keeping most of the players to see how the new coach would handle it? That's kind of the worry. That's kind of what I think might happen at this point, is that maybe they keep everyone. But again, we'll know for sure more tomorrow regarding their plan with coaching, at least. I don't know about Marner. They're not going to say they're going to trade Marner, but things are looking a little bit up. A little bit up, at least.
It is looking... There's movement. I was kind of scared yesterday, going into yesterday. I said it on our stream last night that I was scared that just nothing was going to happen. That was my fear. But here we go. We got some movement, so that's good. But I think they just have to move on from Marner. The only one they can move on from, realistically, is Marner. That's why everyone's pointing fingers at him. It's time. It is time, man. Like, it's over. We've given it way more runway than they should have, right? We really have. Years and years and years. So, and it's the same result. It's not like they were actually closer this year, like Tavares says. We're right there. You're right there from what, dude? You got the exact same result as always. I don't understand what that means. Right there. You're not. You're first round exit again. I'm not sure. So it's the accountability thing too. We're right there. I don't think so. I think you got to take some accountability there. So.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, we got it up quickly. I mean, he got fired early this morning. I was expecting a mid-afternoon firing. I was relaxing. Unfortunately, it did not happen.
Leafs management doing it quick.
They could have done it any other time, but they did it nice and early. Made us all wake up. Well, not wake up, but like physically wake up. Everyone zoned out.
Okay. Can I address something else, Nick?
Yep.
I see in the comments here. People keep saying buy out Tavares. I see it all over online. You know how little sense that makes, rather than just riding out next season with his contract? If you buy him out, you got to pay half of his contract for like years on end. It makes no sense. So buyout makes... This is what's going to happen with Tavares, unfortunately for everyone. All right. He's going to play next season. Then his contract will expire. That's what's going to happen. If they're going to move on from somebody, it's going to be Mitch Marner. That's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I could see Tavares coming back on a very, on a shorter and less money contract.
Thank you,
definitely
Duke.
See that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Duke.
Yeah, there's some other quotes coming out about Toronto's head coach from Dreger. We'll definitely be covering that and how they want to act quickly. Be covering that, and we'll probably have another couple videos going out for you guys today, because the Leafs always have stuff to do and they always have stuff to talk about because the team is crazy. 2 years for the buyout. Woke up with good news. I feel like that's everyone's sentiment right now. Whether you're at work and you got the good news, at school, whatever it was, everyone woke up and, in theory, had good news. I mean, we had the animation of Keefe so long. It's officially true. How about trading Tavares instead of Marner? It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. It
Best
won't
way
work.
to fire
You won't get
Leafs
as much value either.
I don't hate Marner. It's not sustainable to keep him. It's a shame. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Yep.
Whether you hate Marner or not, keeping him now doesn't make as much sense as...
We have news from Darren Dreger here via Twitter. He says, Toronto is focused on finding the right fit. However, there is a want to act quickly. Work is underway in hiring Keefe's replacement. Treliving isn't making a rushed hire, but he won't wait around either.
I don't think we'll get it for tomorrow. I don't think we're going to probably...
No, they won't have a coach tomorrow. No. And if they do, then we know exactly what happened there.
Craig Berube.
Yeah. So I think there is some urgent, like if they're going to interview, obviously, Berube, that's got to happen like today.
Or it already happened.
Yeah, or it already happened. Who knows? But they're playing coy with it. They're saying, oh, the search starts today. Really?
No, it's been
You should have had these discussions already, no? Yeah. So
my prediction: Leafs against the Bruins first round exit. If they don't, they get rid of Marner and Tavares. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, they're not going to get rid of Tavares, but Brendan Shanahan needs to go. Yeah, I don't think they'd have him at the meeting necessarily, unless he's going to announce his own departure, which I also doubt is going to happen. I think he moves on from his current role. Brad Living reports to Keith Pelly, and then that's that. I think that's what's that's like the most.
I honestly, that has to be exactly what happens, because I don't see Brendan Shanahan. I could see them affording him the opportunity to go in front of the media and say, I'm stepping down, but I don't see them doing that. And then he sits beside the two other guys for 50 minutes while reporters ask him questions about the team, and then he leaves. I don't see that happening. That would be weird.
Bring Babcock back. Leafs need a number one D-man. Marner is good, but he's another issue. Yeah.
That's Brandon Montour.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would sign here.
Ridiculously expensive.
Yes.
Surprised Keefe wasn't fired 3 years ago. Yeah, most of us are. Most of us, or maybe not even Keefe fired 3 years ago. I'm surprised the core four wasn't changed out 3 years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess Sheldon Keefe might be saying, I didn't get a fair chance with the non-core four, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, the core four maybe.
I honestly no, but come on, so he got hired right before COVID happened, right? And then they went into the COVID bubble and they lost like embarrassingly to Columbus, and then they had that embarrassing loss the next year to Montreal. And the excuse after that was he hasn't had a full training camp with this group, and they haven't played in front of crowds. Okay, 3 years later, you had 3 years of that, and you got the exact same result. Yeah. Like, yes, they made round 2 last year, but the way they lost to Florida was exactly the same, right? It's the same problems rear their heads. So I don't know what to tell you anymore. Like, I think it's on the players too. Like, another coach might come in, and if they keep the team together, it could be the same thing, right? Same frustrations.
Yeah, I don't think Samsonov is going to come back. I think Max Domi could come back. I think that's possible and likely even. We had a video on that this morning if you do want to check it out. I do think Max Domi returns. Bertuzzi's up in the air. Marner for Brady Tkachuk. Yeah.
I don't even think Ottawa doesn't do that.
No, I don't think so.
Ottawa would not do that. Although that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
They need a player like that. That'd be great.
As soon as Marner's parents got involved in the contract, 1 more year, Tavares resigns for $3 million a year. I think it might be a couple more, like 2 or 3 years, but around $3 to $5 million. Could they be planning on Berube at the presser on Friday? They could be.
It's honestly, I think it's possible, but just the wording they used today, I feel like that would be puzzling if they showed up to the press conference with Berube.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, cool, you made this hire in 12 hours? Like, did you have a Zoom call? You flew into Toronto from LA or wherever the TNT studios are? New York, maybe? I don't know. But
it'll probably be a hiring this weekend or early next weekend, and then
Well, if they want him, they got to move fast. That's what it is. And if they, I don't know, it's interesting. It's interesting because if they knew that there's better options available, they have someone in mind, right? To move on from Keefe. And if it's Berube, you got to move quick because it sounds like New Jersey wants him. But does Berube want to go to New Jersey? Who knows? So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. It's gonna be really interesting.
To get Berube, they'll trade for Colin Parayko, which would be a mistake. I'm not sure that's directly correlated, but maybe. What's up, Shane? They did it. We talked about it yesterday night, and we said we'd probably be live today. Again, didn't think it was going to be before noon, but Ehlers for Brady.
Tavares is still a very good and useful player. He's in the wrong role because he's older now and he makes too much. We knew the back end of the contract was going to look bad. The reason we didn't care at the beginning is because they were supposed to win a Stanley Cup early in his contract. They didn't. Now it looks terrible, but he's still a very useful player. If he was to re-sign for, what did we say yesterday? 4 or 5 million, something like that.
4 to 5, 3 to 5.
Let's say 4 as a third line center. That's fine. That's really fine. He's still a very useful player. Maybe not a leader though. I think they have to move on. The leadership, we were talking about this yesterday. That group has to. We got to fix that.
Marner for Ehlers.
I wouldn't hate that either. Although Ehlers,
not as good as Marner.
Kind of has the Marner effect in the playoffs as well.
Yep.
So I don't know about that there, but
get out of the cap a little bit.
Yep, that too.
Berube comes out Friday, slams 2 beers and leaves. That would be
new hilarious. Era of Maple Leafs hockey. If that were to happen.
Marner for Kempe.
That's interesting as well.
It is. I've heard about that. Kempe. He's a good player.
Yeah. Looking at another left-handed forward, though. That's the other thing you have to keep in mind as well. Not a deal breaker or anything, but
Tavares, 8 years, $3 million.
No, Tavares will
8 years.
That'll bring Tavares to like what, 42? That's hilarious. You'll get the Joe Thornton contract. Bring Joe Thornton back. Love it. You know what the Leafs need, actually, in my opinion, is more people who've won the Stanley Cup. Not only in management, not only at coach, which they might make that decision. They said they want experience. Like on the roster, too. They acquired these guys who are veterans throughout the years. And I'm not trying to bash guys like Wayne Simmons and Joe Thornton and guys like that and Patrick Marleau. You got to acquire guys who've won the Cup, who know what it takes to get it done, right? So that's another thing I think they got to look at, too. Even if they're not like impactful players, just get them on the roster.
Yeah.
So
finally, boys, another chapter. It's a new chapter of Leafs hockey.
It really is. Well, we'll see. Could just be a new coach.
Yeah, I mean, it
could just be a new coach.
Need defense. Yeah, Marner hopefully for a right-handed shot defenseman. If he can.
I see two people saying the Leafs need defense. I don't know if that's true anymore. They can't score in the playoffs. That's the problem.
They need a lot of things.
That has been the problem. They can't score in the playoffs.
They need goaltending too.
Goaltending as well. Yeah, that's a thing. So. What about goaltending? Let's talk about that. Like, I think they go with 3 guys again. They have Joseph Woll, right? Samsonov probably won't be back. You got to. I don't know. I don't know what that looks Jones. Like. I don't think Matt Murray's back either. Probably Although good for him. Like he worked his way back to get into shape where he could play an AHL game. Good for Matt Murray because that's a tough career. So.
Little Pump.
Oh.
Thank you, Little Pump.
Thank you.
Appreciate Darius and Nick Ryan to cover latest news for everyone else. You guys are the best. Thank you, Pump. We do. Even on this early day. It's not that early.
Yeah. Thank you, Little Pump. You're my favorite rapper.
It's early for news.
Early for news.
Early for breaking news. Thank you, Pump. Hit the subscribe. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers. I don't even know what we're at now. We're getting close.
We're close. We're up there.
We're getting close. Runner the Ducks for McTavish and John Gibson.
Don't hate that. McTavish is a pretty good up-and-coming player. I heard something about Gibson not waiving his no movement clause to come to Toronto. So I don't know if that would work, but I think... And Gibson's already getting a little older, but we'll see.
Marner for Saros there. Yeah, I said that yesterday. It might take a little bit more for the Leafs.
Yeah, there would be more to that trade.
Yeah, like the Leafs will want more. Wall's the future? Yeah, Wall and Hildeby, hopefully.
Hildeby, I think, is the guy, but you got to wait like a year or two for him still. But I think he is the guy.
But Wall gets injured often.
I don't know. I wouldn't label him injury prone yet, but this year was not good for him.
It was definitely unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to throw this graphic up because he is gone. So long, Keefe. He is headed out of Toronto. Wish him all the best. We wish Keefe the best. He'll probably coach somewhere against the Maple Leafs, whether it's next year or the year after. But he is out of TO. He is out of Toronto.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Eastland Ullmark. That would be very interesting.
I just don't know if they want to trade in division. Pellick could be a good little player for the Leafs. I don't hate that idea. The thing with Thomas Harley, I watched him play in Mississauga in the OHL. I knew wherever this guy got drafted, I knew like they were never going to get rid of him. Like I knew this guy was going to be an absolute horse on the back end for whatever team drafted him. So people are just finding out about Thomas Harley now. He's a really, really good player. I just don't think the Leafs, you'd have to give up a lot. Dallas would want a lot for that. So a lot of people have said Quenneville. We haven't addressed that yet. I don't know if he's coming back to the NHL yet. I don't know if that's a thing. I know he passed the I forget what it was called. He had to do like kind of like a thing to be reinstated. I know he passed that and he can be hired. I just don't know at what point somebody will hire him. I don't think the Leafs go that route. I just don't. I don't sense that. I feel like there would be more. Yeah.
It is official. He's gone.
Yep.
Sheldon Keefe is out. He's out of town, and he's not coming back. How do the Leafs look? State. Quick question: what do you think about re-signing McCabe? I think they do.
Oh yeah, Apparently Benoit, they love McCabe.
Him and Benoit are the perfect pairing. We were on the train. The train is left. The station.
Somebody said I would have kept Luke Shen because Luke Shen was a perfect fit. I totally agree, but Luke Shen and Ryan O'Reilly wanted to leave. What does that tell you about the dynamic of the team? I thought that was really interesting last summer too. So I don't know if that's a coach thing.
Ryan O'Reilly was scared of the spotlight. So
I don't know if it was that or if he thought that the spotlight was taken. So we'll see.
At least on the defense, they need a few things, which is why they're firing Sheldon Keefe. What, like 3 or 4 days after they lost. They did it in pretty quick fashion. They didn't wait around.
No.
Obviously, they have their press conference, and now we can look back at the Keefe conference. He probably knew he was gone, which is what we said. It sounded like someone auditioning for a new role. Maybe auditioning for Kyle Dubas in Pittsburgh.
I think Sheldon Keefe ends up in Pittsburgh. They just fired their assistant coach. So if he was to slot in there as an assistant with a Stanley Cup winner and Mike Sullivan, I think that'd be good for both of them, honestly. And we'll see.
Landshark.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Elite Tier. Appreciate that, Landshark. You became a member. You have some emotes now. You got a badge next to your name. We're building it up. Thank you. Again, we're going to be going live very often, especially when breaking news happens, even when it's... Thank you, Landshark. We appreciate it. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in. It's a lot of people here. It's over 700.
Yes, sir. Shane is here, too. Shane has been a real one all season. He's been here all season, every stream.
We did it, Shane. We got to the end. We got to the end of the Keefe era, at least. Now, I wonder if our next stream, or one of our streams, will be Mitch Marner gone.
Right.
Could.
It's possible. Even Shanahan, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We really don't. We're just making assumptions. So, do people want Shanahan? This is where I'm landing. I'll throw this to the chat as well. Over the last couple of days, we find out that maybe MLSE will move away from Shanahan's role. Not necessarily him fired, just him moving away, and he doesn't, have his fingerprints on the on-ice product. So would you rather that, or you just want Shanahan gone completely? Because I feel like he's done some really good things with the organization away from the on-ice product. So I'll throw that to the...
Interrupted you again.
Mac Truck, thank you.
Thank you, Mac Truck. You get some more emotes. We're going to have to alter that Sheldon Keefe emote to a new coach. We'll definitely get that. But yeah, appreciate it, Mac Truck. You get, again, the badge next to your name, a bunch of emotes, some other perks as well. So thank you. You get to use some of those emotes like Shane using Sheldon Keefe. That one needs to be changed. That Sheldon Keefe one is gone.
Maybe add some tiers for now, and then
yeah, Sheldon Keefe tier. We'll work on the emotes for you, for all the members. Yeah. We'll get a lot of different ones going. Maybe the new coach as soon as he comes out, which we don't know when that will be. Next week.
We don't know. I would assume next week. I would assume in short order. This is going to get done very quickly. I don't think they want to wait too long. Because the coach has got to meet with the players as well at some point, right? The players got to know who's coming in next year. So
what's up, Annette? Longtime Leafs fan here. It's an interesting day for us longtime Leafs fans. Shanahan can be a part of the marketing division. That's crazy.
Chief coffee guy. That's funny. That's a good one. I like that. That's funny. I think he stays. Just a different role within MLSE. He's done a really good job building up the organization. They were a joke before he came in 14-15. I just do not agree with him having his fingerprints all over the on-ice product anymore. I don't, because it's clear he really likes his guys, and I feel like they should move on from a couple of them. So that is what that is. Marner for Carlson. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Nope.
No. Although the Leafs need scoring on their back end. That would be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen at all. And the Leafs will probably, quote unquote, lose a Marner trade, but I think the most valuable thing in the NHL right now is salary cap space. So it does, not that it doesn't matter, but I feel like that's a thing to keep an eye on too. To look forward to.
Find his way to the Pens. That'd be crazy.
That would be pretty crazy. I just don't know what the Pens have to give to the Leafs that the Leafs need, right? Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Team has a tradition tripping over their shoelaces top down. Yeah, well, Shanahan's time is up. Could be. I don't know, though. Giordano's a good defenseman that is useful. Thoughts on re-signing Gio and Lyubushkin?
Go ahead, Nick.
Maybe one of them.
I feel like Gio retires.
So I feel like that's more likely, but I think they might focus on... I mean, they got to re-sign Connor Dewar. He's an RFA. Joel Edmondson, who's a UFA. I mean, I'd rather bring him back.
Well. Yeah,
I'd rather bring him back.
So. I could see Lyubushkin back as like a third pairing guy. But then you start... here's the thing. Like, you start re-signing guys like Lyubushkin, then you're bringing back like the entire defense core. and I think you want to like upgrade at that position. I think Tree Living has said that there will be a lot of changes coming. We'll probably have a video on that, actually. They want to blow up the blue line a little bit. So
Vasilevsky, all in.
That'd be great. You need a goalie.
Poor Pens fans, they're watching their team morph into ex-Leafs players' failures right before their eyes. It's funny.
It is true.
Let's
well, what did you expect?
Mark Giordano, or let's let Giordano retire and then we hire him as our coach. So let's just do that.
I could see that too. I don't think any of the assistant coaches or anyone survives.
Oh, head coach, I'm talking about. Just throw him in.
Oh, head coach. Yeah. They need a motivator. That's all they need, man.
Sleeper coach for at least Ted Nolan.
I think he used to coach Buffalo. I don't think that's a good idea.
You're disappointed in it? Disappointed that Keefe's gone?
I could see that. It's a
Bittersweet day.
yes, great way to put it. It is because I thought he was a great coach. I really did. I honestly thought he was a great coach that needed a better team, a better structured team. I do think that, and I think he'll find success elsewhere. First time NHL coach when he was hired too, so he's obviously going to take his lessons to another team. So
Yeah, definitely a blue runner who can move the puck a bit more. I mean, LeBouf's
100%.
a bit of a disaster.
They have Riley, and that's it. You could see the Bruins kind of playing to that too in the series, where they're like, "Oh, look at this! Somebody has the puck. Let's pressure him because he doesn't know what to do with it." So, especially Labushkin.
I would love that just to see, but there's no way. Leafs get Boston's goalie Ullmark, Marner for Ullmark. Leafs won't do that. Why do the Panthers seem so much easier? Easier than the Bruins, you mean?
Like probably lighter than last year. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. You watched the game last
I
night.
don't think the Leafs would beat Florida either, to be quite honest with you. Boston got smacked yesterday. Now, some of that has to do with the fact that Jeremy Swayman played most games of his career in a row, and then it's all this stuff. And Game 7,
right? I
think Boston, they'll probably lose in 6, maybe 7. But
I still think Florida wins that series pretty handily. But we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Gio's still better than half of the new.
Yeah. Yeah, he won with the Marlies. That's the other thing too. He brought a championship to MLSE, right? He brought the Calder Cup to the Marlies, so it's bittersweet. I was hoping he could complete it with the Stanley Cup, but unfortunately not, man. Too many mistakes.
Nolan was the guy that coached the Latvian team and almost beat Canada in 2014.
Yeah, that's who that is. You're right. Yeah, I thought he coached Buffalo too. Sorry,
Gallant 40, Berube 30% other. Probably. I'd honestly probably put Berube 50, and then. No, I'd put Berube ahead of Gallant, definitely. I misread that. I'd put
Berube's
Berube 60, rest 40. I'd do that.
Yeah.
NHL coaches should allow to drop the gloves in the middle of the ice during a game. They kind of do. I mean, they do.
That almost happened one time with Patrick Waugh.
Basically.
Yeah. Did you see that yesterday?
Oh, coaches.
Cool. Coaches, not players. Yeah, coaches.
Oh, I was
almost happened.
No. No, but Jim Montgomery gave Pasternak the okay to fight Matthew Tkachuk, and then that's like $20 million in cap space. See, if the Leafs did that, they'd get unlucky and fracture their hand or do something crazy like that. If Matthews got in a fight, though he did fight Stamkos last year.
He did do that. Yeah, that's right.
His only accolade. Can we have a coach poll? Yep. I got you. I mean,
that's a great idea.
What's the poll?
Here, I'll make it.
Okay. Berube. Yeah, we'll get a poll going. If you're new, hit the like button. Let's get to 200 likes and hit the subscribe button. We're very close to 9,000. Don't know exactly how close, but we're getting close, and we're going to be going live often. And we do Leafs videos every day. We do multiple videos a day, actually. We get the news out. This is the place to get the fastest Leafs news on YouTube. I'm holding us to. We do it. So, if that's interesting to you, and you want to suffer together, hit the subscribe button. All right, we're getting the poll going.
Suffer together is hilarious.
It is. Ty Domi needs to be coach. Darcy Tucker. Just bring them all back.
Yeah.
Craig Berube seems like the guy.
Somebody said Berube, and who else? What was the other coach
there? Gallant. You can think about the California, the Carolina Hurricanes guy. It's up to you. Brindamore, that's what it is. There's no way Gretzky is coaching. Yeah, there's just no chance. Maybe. Who knows? Also, a video going out shortly after this stream for all of you interested in that. Get Paul Bissonnette. Super fan Paul Bissonnette. Quenneville as well.
Yeah, I have Quenneville in there as well.
All right, let's get the poll going. Let's see what the fans, I'm
loading it up. I want people to get their opinions heard. I'm loading it up with a couple options here.
Thank you for liking, Annette. Appreciate it. Clark as well. Mac Truck says, suffer this offseason. He goes, the offseason is great for drama, but I just meant suffer in the sense of
Maple Leafs hockey, baby.
Yeah, we're not playing right now, I guess.
I'd rather them be playing, let's be honest, right?
Oh, yeah. All right, Darius with the poll. Who should the new Leafs coach be? I can almost see. I think it could be tough between Brindamore and Berube. But, the most realistic one is Berube. But Brindamore, Craig, okay.
Oh, it's dropping quickly. I do love Rob Brindamore.
Oh, Brindamore might
if he's available. Is he going
to be available? Charlie, thank you for the super chat, Charlie. We do appreciate it. Thoughts on Joel Quenneville, great coach with a lot of baggage. How would you feel, and how do you think it would be portrayed in Leafs media? It's a very great question, Darius.
Mm.
I don't know if he's available to begin, but we can hypothetically say he is available. It would be an interesting day for Leafs media if they do that. And most fans, it's only 17% want Quenneville, Berube, and Brind'Amour Mortal. Thank you again, Charlie, for the donation. What are your thoughts down that, Darius?
I don't know. I need to take that in for a second. I mean,
it'd be a tough. He's an interesting guy.
It would be really interesting, but I think there would be a lot of questions not about the Leafs, right? Because he does, bring a lot of quote unquote baggage from before. So I think that's something that would have to be addressed. I don't see the Leafs moving in that way. I really don't. Just my read on it, but I don't see them moving that way. But thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for the question.
You guys' support's been great. Best live stream to date. Best live stream to date.
That's been awesome.
We're on them now. Not stopping.
Locked in now. It looks like Berube is still winning, actually. So a lot of people would like
1%.
Berube. Yeah, by 1%. Yeah, of course. But
I take Brind'Amour over Berube. Yeah,
definitely.
I just don't. I mean, another thing to consider is that let's not forget the Hurricanes are in the playoffs still.
Yeah, that's
so they can't be interviewing him right now.
No,
I assume. How do you guys feel about Marner? Marner, he's an interesting one. We kind of speak about him in every video. He's probably on his way out. We'll have some trade videos coming up. There's ridiculous amounts of videos that are coming up, so just stay tuned for that. You're gonna want to subscribe. There's more than my head can even wrap around, to be quite honest with you. But
it can be a lot of fun.
I feel bad.
Patrick Waugh for coach. He just got signed by Islanders, so I don't think he's leaving there. Although it would be interesting. I don't know.
We'll get Darius to coach. I think.
I'll be the new coach.
Do we think yes or no in chat? Do we think Darius would be a good? Do we think Darius would be a better coach than Sheldon Keefe? I think Darius could elevate.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I would like to see the responses though. I'm really excited to see how the knows. I just want to see that.
Would Darius do better than Keefe with the core four? Yes or no? That'd be a funny poll, but we're just gonna go with yes or no.
I could do a campaign right here live on stream if you guys want to. I can give you my ideas and what I would implement, but just let me know what you think off the top of your heads.
Hurricanes pulled his extension offer mid playoffs. He isn't returning. Yeah, I agree. He is not returning.
No. No. And they've been playing hardball with Rod Brind'Amour. Yes.
100%. We should get a Darius coach.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Marley's head coach. I can't remember. I do think it's John Gruden, though.
Bob Knight says no. Yeah, Bob, you're right.
Come on, Bob. Yeah, John Gruden is coach of the Toronto Marlies.
Maybe not better, but couldn't do worse. Well.
I think I could do a lot worse, actually, if I tried. I could do a lot worse. See a lot of Don Cherries in the chat too. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a thing that would ever happen.
Just like
even
Darius,
if you were 50.
We love Darius too much to allow him to suffer as the head coach. He wouldn't suffer with that salary though.
I wouldn't. He'd
stay on Leafs Digest. Give us some
it.
Inside info, inside coaching lines.
Yeah, this is what we're working on today, guys. This is what we worked on in practice, guys. That'd be fantastic.
It's okay, Bob. It's okay.
That would be funny. They asked like the Bruins coach in the playoffs, like, "Oh, what are you doing to scout the Leafs?" Well, I've been watching Leafs Digest.
Yep.
Oh, great.
That's what they should do. Provide some good.
100%.
How about Bubbles? He'll be an awesome coach. There's so many coaches. I mean, I feel like Berube is kind of the more boring option. Halifax. Shout out to Halifax. I was there 3 days ago.
Yep.
For a layover. Yeah, I think Johnny T. I think John Tavares gets the captain strip from him and it's given to Matthews. Yeah, I agree. Johnny T.
I do think that happens.
I like that, Johnny T.
That would happen. But
what do you think of Vasilevsky and Stamkos from Marner and Tavares? That would be too much. Too much craziness for an NHL trade to have happen. Just blowing up.
And Stamkos is a free agent, so I don't even think he returns to Tampa. That's a whole another story. I don't even think
power play
would help.
Would help. Toronto.
You know what else would help the Leafs power play? Literally anything. Score more than one goal. Try that. Literally anything.
Craig Berube is going to win. Pretty convincing fashion.
100%. Yep.
Nova Scotia.
I think he's the number one guy in everyone's mind right now. I think.
There's
that video floating around too with Keefe's speech, and then right after it is Craig Berube's speech from Game 7 against the Bruins. A little bit of a difference there. A little bit.
Yeah.
Craig Berube's like, you guys. This is what you worked your whole lives for. Go out there and take it from them. And then Keefe's like, come on, guys.
Fun, guys. Fun. Let's throw in. We should have thrown in Bruce Boudreau. He's possible. He wants to coach the Leafs. He's just not going to be the head coach. Maybe he'll be a power play coach or assistant coach or something.
I could see him as an offensive, 100%.
Offensive coordinator.
Offensive, yeah. I think that's what they're calling it now. The Leafs have like an offensive and defensive coordinator, and then they have the coaches that are on the bench. Like they have guys behind the scenes. So I don't know. They have a lot of coaches. That's the other thing with the Leafs too. You have all these coaches, and you can't score in the power play. It's insane. It's insane.
All jokes aside, Berube or Coach Q should be the hire. Ship Tavares the seek if Matthew Shipmarner out. Yeah. I mean, that's the blueprint.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just don't know if Berube is 100%. There's still a lot of dominoes that have to fall, right? So
Keefe does, I think, still get paid the 2 years unless he gets hired elsewhere, I think.
Maybe yes. Yep. You're right. Yep. Yes, he does.
I believe that's how it works.
Isn't that crazy? They extended him, which I don't blame them because they had the conversation last year. Is there anyone better? Can we replace him with anyone better? The answer was no. So they brought him back. They extended him, and they fired him a year later. His extension hasn't kicked in yet.
It's like the Blue Jays, man. It's so eerily similar. I like towards Marner is the George Springer of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Is
John
that the comparable?
Is the George Springer? Sorry,
John Tavares.
Yeah. Not Mitch Marner. Not even close.
No.
Signs. They're both now. I mean, the Jays should have won a championship by now, and now their contract's looking bad. Leafs should have won a championship by now.
That's the thing. You miss your window, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this looks terrible, and you're still trying to chase it. But it's like you should have won by now, or at least gotten close, right? That's the thing with both.
We got one. Could it be a female? Yeah, I'm sure it could be. Yeah.
What's this? Sorry.
Like, could the next head coach be a female?
Head coach? Yeah, 100. One day it'll happen soon. It's gonna happen sooner than you think.
Could be the Leafs.
100%.
Who knows?
Yeah, it could be the Leafs.
And
they have Haley Wickenheiser in the front office too. I think the first. Yep. I don't know if she was the first female in management in the NHL, but definitely one of the first. So.
Wouldn't mind that. It's definitely going towards that way in general.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Never will happen but Sundin for coach. Yeah. Honestly, can't see Marner being traded. He's going to ride this out. His agent. Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. It is possible that he does ride it out. Will he take a discount? Doubt it.
No.
Not saying that.
Okay, so the thing with Marner and this discount stuff, when Matthew signed his extension, the first one after his entry-level contract, the same day he signed his contract, Marner's agent was in the news saying, well, if nobody else is taking a discount, we're not either. So I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. Cujo. A lot of former Leafs. Here's the thing with like former Leafs too. They don't have the experience of being a coach or a GM.
The Jays are not a championship team. Oh, I know.
Well, let's talk about that, Nick. Let's get into that.
You can see all my Jays. I run Jays Digest. If you're interested in suffering with me there, it's been awful. But that's okay. The Jays are great. They're not great. They're terrible. But that's all right. You know, the Leafs at least are giving me some exciting times. Tavares has to go. He's not a captain. His captain probably has to go. I don't think he necessarily has.
I don't think he has to go, but it's not his team anymore. It's Austin Matthews' team.
My chair is unbelievably squeaky, and I don't know why. Getting knocked out in the first round again would be stunning and brave on our Haley's. Imagine we bring in a new coach just to get knocked out in the first round again. I don't know what I'd do.
What do you mean imagine, Nick? What do you mean by imagine?
Yeah. I mean, it's happened. But after all these years, Phil Kessel, Cito Gaston, fire Schneider next. Just fire all the Blue Jays coaches or all the Toronto sports coaches.
Team coaches.
I mean, Toronto sports right now is in absolute shambles, really.
It's so crazy where it was like 7 years ago and all the hope and even championships.
Even 5 years ago when they won 2019, the Leafs were good, the Jays were terrible. That's fine, and then the Raptors won.
Right. Yep. That's right. Marlies won in that time. TFC won. TFC was always competitive too, as well.
They're on the way back, I think, but
they are on the way back. Yeah, but right now, Toronto sports is.
Boudreau's power play coach. I'm in.
Yeah, I would love that too.
We're 45 likes away off 200. If you're watching right now, just move your mouse and just see the like button and just click it. Just click. It's free.
That's right.
So is the subscribe button. It's also free. Coach is not the biggest problem. I agree, but it's something that had to be addressed. It definitely.
I agree, but yeah.
Two things. They don't have to be hand in hand. I think that you can need to change your coach and you can need to change your core. It doesn't need to be one or the other, but it might be, which is the scary part.
I have to address this because I just thought it was hilarious. Joe Rogan for head coach.
Let's do it.
Hilarious. He can do a podcast on the bench.
Yep.
Marner for Keller, that's come up as well. I think that was something that they could look into, definitely.
He'll be eating hot dogs on the bench, smearing mustard on the iPad. That is crazy.
That's crazy. What I love about Kessel, too, is that rumor was started. Like, it wasn't true. And then he did the Stanley Cup photo with the hot dogs. Like, just kind of like I love that. I loved Phil Kessel. It's awesome.
Trudeau for coach. Can't run a country, can run the league. Don Cherry and people are getting
a lot of Don Cherries. Yeah.
We'll end the poll now.
Yep.
And
I think we have our winner.
Yep. Craig Berube wins. Rob Brindamore close. Quenneville closest ish.
Yep.
Galam. Nick, yes, at least. Marner's gonna go into the West Coast. Marner for prospects or picks. I mean,
I think the Leafs.
dream.
The thing with the culture shift, I think the Leafs are too okay with losing. Like they're just okay with losing. I don't
the Leafs don't
that.
lose.
No, you're right. They what is it from Toy Story? They're falling with style. It's terrible. Terrible.
They do fall with style. Didn't Bruce Boudreau's son play for the Leafs in the 70s or 80s?
I think idea. Bruce Boudreau himself played for the Leafs in the 70s and 80s. I don't think it was his son. I think it was Bruce Boudreau himself. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
so did Craig Berube. He was a Leaf.
He'd be what's the best way to put this? A seasoned ad. A veteran and seasoned ad. It's a nice way to say an aging coach.
Yeah.
From Laval. I was in Laval literally 5 days ago. Sylvain Cote. I definitely messed that up.
I think that's a former player, actually.
Okay.
I wonder if that's actually him. Thank you for joining the stream.
Got to get Biesca off the panel. Leafs are right there. Watching the second round, it paints a clear picture that the Leafs need a couple of guys who can rip bombs from the point of view.
Yeah.
Or from the point. Yeah, I'm assuming your phone auto-corrected to point of view.
You know what? Like Jake Muzzin used to do that, and then he got hurt. I feel like they were...
That's how they got to Swayman yesterday. They just kept, obviously, screening, slap shots on the point. And then they took Swayman out. We could.
I know he
had a record going of 2 goals or less for I think it was 6 straight games in the playoffs or something crazy like that.
Yep.
Marchand's nose in real life was huge. Yeah, I mean, it's a funny remark.
Chris Bishop, Leafs ain't making the playoffs next year. I could see it.
Nothing's off the table. Nothing's off the table.
Nothing is off the table.
I think they do.
Definitely see it.
I think they definitely do.
I think they do, but I think they have a lot of holes. They gotta figure out a whole bunch of stuff before the season starts. Quickly. Create a fake injury for Tavares, put him on LTIR, and then bring him back for the playoffs. Not a bad idea. You can use that cap space. A lot of other teams do it. Although I feel like the Mark Stone thing was like he was actually injured, and they lost, so it didn't work out for them. But.
Marchand Elite 8, that's crazy. Chat's getting unhinged. We're all getting unhinged. I'm gonna throw this up there for you guys here. Sheldon Keefe. It's kind of sad.
He's
gone. It's kind of hitting me now. You know, I've woken up a little bit. Today was my my off day.
Had some time to take it in.
Off day, so I was sleeping a little bit. And boy, did I get awoken.
I knew something happened as soon as like my phone's very quiet usually in the morning, and it was just like ding 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 ding, like a bunch of texts, and I was like, yep, I think something happened.
I had a phone call.
Oh, that's when you know.
I got a call from Ben Rogers, host of Raptors Digest, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. It's over.
It is.
Where does Keefe go next? Pittsburgh.
Probably Pittsburgh as an assistant. I would think that's the most likely, but I could see him as a head coach.
I'm going to ask the chat this because shout out to still over 300 viewing here. Do we like the streams? Yes or no?
I think people like the streams.
Do you want to see them more? That's what I'll ask because we could do them more. Obviously, we're doing our videos a day. We're going to keep those going. A video's coming right after this, so stay tuned for that. But do you want to see us stream more? Because, I mean, the support was crazy. I think today we peaked at almost 800.
Yeah. It was great.
We streamed yesterday,
the work day, too, guys. Come on.
Yeah. What are we...
going on there?
It is a work day. Everyone's tuning in on their phone. Shout out to all of you out there working right now.
Shout out.
Good job.
Yes.
Maybe Winnipeg for Keefe? Wow.
Oh, wow. That could be interesting.
Bonus is retired, so...
Yeah, didn't think about that. That would be very interesting.
Just sub so more is good. Thank you, Landshark. Hit us with the daily streams. Nick.
Daily.
That might be a stretch with the daily videos.
Once a week, I think, is very
once
doable.
Or twice a week, depending on the stuff. Keep Keefe out of Winnipeg. Yes, more. Everyone at the chat's spoken. Everyone.
There could be a bomb drop tomorrow in that press conference too. So I wonder. I don't know. We could
Friedman bomb, perhaps.
Friedman bomb, perhaps.
He did give us a bomb this morning.
He did. That was him.
Appreciate it, Kirk.
And
live streams are awesome. They love them. All right. Now we're doing the videos still, multiple a day. It's a holiday in Norway. You guys rock. Thank you, Jose. Jose Duarte. That's a fire name.
That's. I love that.
You guys love your team. Yeah. so much that you root after they lose. Got to.
I think that's what being a fan is, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just the Leafs are extra bad. I mean, listen, one day in my lifetime, I'm 22, so hopefully in the next 60 plus years, they win a cup.
Here's the thing about that, Nick, and I just want to throw that out there. I'm going to be pessimistic for a second. My father also said that. So, and here we are.
Okay. Well, let's hope that the Leafs. What's up, Patrick? Let's hope that the Leafs do it. Brube will be the next coach for the Leafs.
Yeah. They're right there, man. They're a couple. Sorry to be John Tavares about it, but they are right there in the way that, like, not this group. Like, they're a head coach, a head coaching change, and a couple of changes to the roster away. They are, and a goalie away. So in fact, they are quite a ways away, but they'll figure it out. I have faith.
Yeah, there'll be 50 teams in the NHL. Yeah, there'll be a 100-team league by the time that the Leafs are close.
You'll play each team once a year. Crazy.
You guys play hockey. Darius did. I
Yep.
dabbled when I was younger, but never fully rocked it.
No.
Big baseball and basketball guy. You're 3 years younger than my son. I'm so old. Landshark, you're not old. You're seasoned. You're seasoned. You're a seasoned veteran at life.
That's what it is. Yes. Come on. We don't use old here. Nobody's old.
Seasoned veteran.
No, you're just entering your prime.
Well, what was his name? I'm losing it. Who's that coach that was old? Bruce Boudreau's a bit old.
Bruce Boudreau, yeah.
I'm going to say that.
It's
a laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been right there for 8 years. I know. I didn't mean to be John Tavares about that, but they know what needs to be done now. And they have some flexibility, I think. Well, if they were to get, move on from Marner, they do have some flexibility, but we'll see if that happens. We will see. Yeah.
My son wants to fight now. Oh. Okay.
Bring him to the Leafs.
Keefe signed with, dude. Once their team loses, they go ripping the Leafs. Because they're closet Leafs fans. Yeah, everyone kind of hates the Leafs.
Everyone. It's always, whether you like them or you hate them, it's always about the Toronto Maple Leafs. That is clear.
What do you think of Wes McCauley refereeing these games in the future?
I think it was happening while, for those of you who don't know about the Sheldon Keefe and Wes McCauley stuff, Google it. I'm not going to get into it. But the fact that he is absurd. And now that he's gone, I see no problem with it. So that's fine. But
I agree.
Absolutely absurd.
We're 18 likes away from 200. So just hit that button, please. Thanks.
Please, guys. Get us there. Get us across the finish line.
Let's get there. Almost
Do
live
I
for
have
an
a
hour.
solution? Yes. I will be the head coach of the Leafs next year, as we talked about earlier.
Yep. Darius, we'll get an animation for that. When does Cowan make the team? Maybe next year because of the low cap hit is my prediction.
Could see it next
Probably
year.
2 years, though, if we were being safe.
Yep.
Like, he might play for the Leafs next year, but make it out of the camp probably 2 years.
He definitely gets 9 games in next year. He'll get to that 9-game thing before you have to send somebody down, and then maybe they send him down, just see where he's at. But he'll definitely get those 9 games.
Reeves
he's
probably
way
stays.
too good for the OHL. Way too good. So
they need defense that can feed offense. I want Reeves to stay. I'd say Reeves stays.
Iron Mike Tyson for Leafs' new head coach. I think he's a little busy this summer, so maybe after that they'll have Darius is hired, confirmed. Yes, I will be the new head
breaking
coach
news. Darius.
This is why we're streaming today, actually, to announce
He'll be there at the press conference on Friday in a suit with his cowboy hat and his shades on. And
that's right. I have them right here.
Appreciate it, Will. South Carolina. We're now 9 likes away from 200. We can do it. We can get there.
Yeah, we can get that.
And the subscribe button as well. No harm in hitting that one. What about
chances Tavares gets traded, 0%. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not happening.
What about Mitten? I could see him getting the 9 games again and maybe being sent down. Actually, I think Mitten is he might be eligible for the AHL next year. I could see him in the AHL. I don't think he's an NHL guy yet. He will be soon, though. I think he's going to be a good player. I think he's eligible for AHL next year. So probably AHL. Yeah.
We'll stay live for a couple more minutes and then wrap it up here. We're going to go do a video. Some more news has come out in that front.
This comment, actually, I do agree with the Paul Maurice thing. Back in the day, they did move on from Paul Maurice too quickly because the team was terrible and they didn't have a goalie. And Maurice even came out and said that maybe if they could get a few saves, they'd have a better season. So they did move on from him too quickly, but that's in the past. That's a long time ago. Stamkos to Toronto. I don't think he's going to come to Toronto. If I was a betting man on that. I would bet either the Florida Panthers or the Detroit Red Wings, but we will see. We will definitely see. Sort through it here. Thank you, Lance. Just liked and subscribed. Thank you so much.
We're 1 like away from 200. Let's get there before we wrap up. Thanks for
Brody and Gio go? Yes, I believe. Yeah, Brody's contract is up. I don't see them re-signing him, and I feel like Gio will retire. So he is the oldest player in the NHL currently. So I would see that. Toskala and Raycroft was dominant. Yeah, at getting draft picks. That was not a good pairing. Horrible. Terrible trade, by the way, for the Rask for Raycroft thing. Goodness gracious. And Toskala was like, he was decent in San Jose. He comes to Toronto. He's like top 10 worst goalies I've ever seen. Like, insane. Turnaround was insane.
Hey, yeah, everyone's we hit saying 200 likes. We did it. Appreciate it.
There we go. There we go. Here. Thank you. From Prime Killer, Cat Friendly says the buyout for Tavares only saves $800,000 next season, so not worth the buyout. This is what I've been saying. The buyout for Tavares doesn't make sense. That's not a non-option. The only option is keeping him until his contract's up next year. So that's what it is.
Thank you, guys.
Matt Sundin trying to defend Raycroft. Oh, we're going into Leafs lore now. Gustafsson. Holy smokes. We are going deep into the vault. The monster, Jonas Gustafsson. He was supposed to be so good. One of my favorite goalies, actually, growing up. Dating myself a little bit, but
yeah, Darius
I thought he was good at first. Yeah.
Darius is 45, guys.
That's right. You might not know this, actually. I'm turning 46 this year.
All right, Darius. I think it's a good point to wrap up.
Yeah.
Great stream. Shout out to everyone in here. Over 200 likes. We'll be going live again very, very soon. I want to thank each and every one of you who subscribed, who tuned in, who liked, and it was an early one. And crazy one. And
crazy. We'll have you guys posted for all the fallout. It's gonna be great.
Yep.
Be a lot.
Shout out to Landshark, Mac, Shane, everyone who became members. You get the emotes. We'll have some more emotes coming up soon. And we have a video coming out for you guys in the next probably 25 minutes. Let's see how quick we can whip this one up for you guys. But thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you. Check out our video from earlier this morning while you're waiting for our new video you posted in half an hour if you're fiending for some Leafs content. But thank you guys for watching. Take it easy. Take care. Be safe. Everything. And we'll talk to you guys very, very soon.